What did you take? We just need to make sure that when the EMT show up, we can tell them what's in your system.
It's not. It's just a relaxer, so...
Seems to be working out okay.
Didn't bring enough
What's
for everybody.
Okay.
Seems to be working out okay.
It's working out okay.
I could use some relaxing. What you got in your pockets?
Easy.
All right.
All right.
Think
We're going to do a timer.
Let's see how many takes it takes me to get through this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Boys, the podcast where us guys get together and talk about things like bourbon, life, lore, and libation, and everything that comes in between being a dad. We aren't bourbon snobs, we're just a group of guys who like bourbon, and we like it for what it is and how it tastes. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. So we are on podcast number 11 tonight, pretty exciting. I'm Kurt, your host for the night, and with me are my Bourbon Boys buddies, Derek.
Yo.
Elton.
Hey, let's get to the bourbon.
And Krat.
Hello.
So tonight we have 3 new bourbons, actually all from the same place, and sitting in front of me. And I'm glad that we're back with you guys because this is going to be a fun night because this is a distillery that actually is located here in North Carolina, just north of where we live. And I'm going to let Derek and Elton kind of take us away on them since they are the ones who discovered this. So let's get started and tell us what's up first, guys.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think we got 2 single barrel here from Southern Distilling up at the crossroads of I-77 and I-40 in Statesville, North Carolina. So it is fairly close. And actually, Derek and I took a road trip up there a couple of weeks and spent some time with one of the owners, Vienna Barger. So excited to be here tasting these and talking about the local North Carolina spirits.
You know, Alden and I went up and we visited Southern Distillery, and this is where Southern Star comes from. And cool place. You know, they do not only their own distilling, but they also barrel for others. Yep. So they just purchased I think 6 more stills.
Yep.
And or tanks, and they are expanding their warehouse. So it's remarkable. It just, this hidden gem, a good mix of state-of-the-art, all new stuff combined with, the tradition and big copper stills, which go back to, way back in the 17s and 18s in Statesville.
Yeah, something that I think Vienna mentioned while we were there, and we were kind of digging around a little bit. Apparently, Statesville at one time was quite the hot spot for spirits and liquor. And I don't know who proclaimed this, if it was self-dubbed or whatever, but there are some who refer to Statesville as having been the liquor capital of the world in the late 1880s. So for those of us who haven't been to Statesville, I'm not sure I saw that coming.
Not at all.
But the legend has it, or the story has it, that one of the first settlers in Statesville was an Irishman named Fergus Sloane. Everybody say Fergus.
Fergus.
And it was believed that he came to Iredell in about 1750, purchased some land in 1755, and later, as he was moving on, sold some of the town the acreage to the town, which later became known as Statesville. But apparently he had a still in Philadelphia that he sent was brought down here, and the first copper pot still in North Carolina was allegedly in Statesville, North Carolina.
Oh, that's cool.
Homegrown.
Do they have that original still?
They do not.
I don't think so.
Nope. Okay. But they have some pretty impressive new stills. I mean, one of them is like I forget what they called it. It was Big Mama or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they were. Yeah,
it's affectionately named, and it is enormous. And they do, like, if you're in the Charlotte area or maybe the Winston area, you're about an hour and change north of Charlotte.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably the same from Winston. Mm-hmm. And if you're in the area, definitely swing by, check them out, see when they're open. But they'll do tours. They do like a full in-depth multi-hour tour where you get to see the actual distilling. Then they do a kind of a manufacturing tour where it's just about an hour-long quick walk around the floor and learn all about it. And then they do what she calls a tractor tour, and they basically walk you around the merchandising. In the center of it is a tractor.
There you go.
So they do some great tastings. They've got a bar there, and I believe that they just got their license too to be able to serve.
And before it was just for tasting, but now they can actually serve
Yeah,
cocktails and concoctions.
You certainly can't miss the facility when you're driving north up 77.
No.
It's really pretty.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you're in the area, definitely swing by. We've been there a couple times now, and the last time we were
Really?
up there, yeah, Deb and I went in the summer. We popped in for a little day trip.
You
got a
missed,
tour.
you missed the invite, Kurt, again.
You weren't. Oh, that's right. You weren't with us. And then Alton and I went up about a month ago, and that's when he and I both picked up the single barrel because I think we had the standard bourbon.
Early.
Yeah. Yep. And they have so their lineup is they have White Dog, so their white bourbon which comes right off the still, and that is jet fuel. Great to mix with. So they have a few bartenders there that can do some pretty awesome mixed cocktails. Then they have the standard, which is available, and I think they're saying the distribution is about 6 states right now. So it's pretty limited in its distribution. A lot of restaurants will pick it up in the area, but they have the standard, which is a blended, and then they have the single barrel, which is pretty tasty. And we've got 2 of those here tonight. And they had a reserve, and that went quick. And I think that they were surprised at how in demand that one was. And then we'll finish off tonight with a bourbon cream double shot, which is pretty amazing too. So for a small little place, they got a lot going on. And like I said, their facilities are expanding. I think people are seeing their capabilities and wanting to use them for some of their overruns that they have from some other brands.
That's cool. So what they're selling now are all blends.
Yep.
But then they've got barrels on shelves that they've distilled.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So as a young distillery, you've got to have that minimum of 4 years in a barrel for it to be your own.
Yep.
But right out of the gate, and talking with Vienna, I think she's a chemist and Pete's an engineer by trade, and I'd love to find out what their story is, and hopefully we can get them on an episode soon.
Yeah, we need to go up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to them.
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of enthusiasm and very open to hosting events and all that. So,
Cool.
As Derek mentioned, I think their distribution is about 6 states now.
Yep.
So you can find it in local liquor stores or just stop by the distillery. I think it's about a $55 bottle or so.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All
So
right.
what are we trying here?
This is the standard.
the standard.
This is the standard.
All right.
And the interesting thing is, when we're doing our research, we had the advantage of being, nearby to be able to ask them, what goes into it, which is, unusual for us to be able to have that conversation. Hard to find anything online. I think a lot of people are looking for reviews on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so we had some pretty short conversations, but they were really insightful for how they get their blends. But for the standard, I don't remember what the mash bill was on these. And
I don't either. I'm not even sure.
I mean, if it's a blend, they may not even know.
True.
that's true too.
True.
Yeah, usually in a blend, it's just
I like
hard
it.
to
That's
nail.
good.
I like it. It's got a bit of a bite in the on the tongue and the top of the mouth, but it goes down really smooth. But it does sit with you for a while.
It does. I like
Yeah.
the finish.
Yeah. the
This
finish
is one.
good.
I remember a few episodes ago we talked about bourbons for people that have never really tried bourbon. It's kind of a first one,
Yep.
and this one feels much in line for that.
Yeah.
It's sweet, which I think is probably a good taste for somebody that's just getting into it. It's got a little bit of a bite, so they kind of know, hey, if I want to step up and try something stronger, I can, but this is kind of what it might taste like.
Yep.
It's good.
What's the proof on this one?
I think they're all 90 proof.
Okay.
Yeah, all three tonight are going to be 90 proofs.
Okay. I really like the taste. I think it is smooth. It's got a good bite to it, but I'm getting a little bit of, not getting a ton of oak. I'm getting a little bit of oak. I'm getting some of the vanilla caramel lime with the sweetness.
You're getting the caramel, but it's not super sweet.
No.
It's kind of good. It's got a nice flavor, but it's not overly sweet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I feel a little bit of a weight to it. So when it just kind of lingers on my tongue, it feels there's a little weight to it. I don't know how to describe that.
That could be the drugs.
The fourth L.
Just saying.
Yeah.
The fourth L.
You don't feel it?
Lorazepam.
Or lorazepam, libation, all that stuff.
Life and lore. No, I think that might be because of the 90 proof. It doesn't have that 100 plus,
Yeah.
which is going to give you that quick evaporation.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to wrap around your tongue a little bit longer.
Yeah. See, Dave.
Yeah. So we talk about these guys being relatively new to the bourbon game. I mean, just by sheer timing, I think they were founded in 2013, I think. And by the time they got facilities built, I mean, the awesome thing is, as you mentioned, they're adding a second warehouse facility and more distilling equipment. So they're doing well. I think we've all watched Neat.
Yep.
Which, if you guys haven't seen that, I think it's on Hulu. Is that where you're?
No.
I think it is.
Can you
Hulu.
elaborate on that?
I think it's
that's
Hulu.
right.
It's on
And Amazon.
Prime Video.
Yeah,
Oh,
Amazon
okay.
Prime and Hulu.
It's in a couple of places.
All right.
Yeah.
It's in multiple places, so it's not hard to find. But it really goes into the
It's not on
history
Hulu,
of
though.
bourbon.
Yeah.
What were the surprising takeaways for you guys from, because we've all watched it now, anything that stuck out about the history of bourbon?
When dark liquors or dark spirits pretty much were nothing, And I think about that time when I was growing up, my dad would drink brandy old fashions all the time. Bourbons really weren't a thing. They probably existed, but there really wasn't anything around it. But it became very soon, like in the 80s, 90s, all about all the white liquors. Mm-hmm. And it was like the vodkas and the
Gins and-
the gins and the martinis and all that. We had all kinds of martini bars all over the place. And then suddenly that started to kind of play down. And that's when the bourbon stuff started to really come up. And I think it had to do with like the craft, your craft breweries. And then suddenly the craft behind making bourbon. The one thing there were two things. One was in that show, what they talked about is that everything in bourbon is natural.
Right.
Like it's all real stuff.
Right.
But then the other kind of cool line, which I texted to you guys, is that let's always remember it's not about the bourbon.
What is it about?
It's about the friendship
There you go.
that gets shared through the bourbon.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway on it was just the kind of the history and the pride associated with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the folks that are in that industry, they couldn't do anything else. I mean, that's just what they do. Mm-hmm. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that. So
I was amazed to learn about, and it makes sense. When you think about what it takes to make a bourbon and how if they're all essentially using the same ingredients with slightly different proportions, how the flavor could be so different, and the contribution that the soil makes to the flavor,
right.
Whether it's soil for the oak tree, for the white American oak, for the barrels, whether it's the soil contribution to the flavor and the type of corn, whether it's the soil's contribution to the spice and the rye, like that unknown variable is it's kind of everyone's playing with that same unknownness,
and even the storage, right?
Right.
The amount of heat and sunlight and
right.
Even
humidity
within the same building.
within the same building, right? Yeah. So it's pretty
weather,
fascinating.
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was impressed in talking with Vienna at how many barrels they had currently in storage and how many more were coming. So just as either Kurt, to your point, a recognition to the growth and the demand for bourbon and that 4-year minimum wait before you find out if it worked. But also just the trust that other big brand distillers have in them to say, listen, you guys, you're part of this society. And it is something I think in Neat too, they talked about that it's a brotherhood that's not terribly competitive.
Right.
Like everyone's sort of pulling for each other and not trying to cut each other out at the knees that maybe the beer industry would be doing or the wine industry.
Yeah.
So I think I think that they had a tremendous sense of pride themselves in being recognized by other well-established brands as you've earned your stripes. Can you help us take care of some of our barreling?
Yep.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, they're actually barreling the bourbon and storing it for other distillers?
Yeah, a large percentage of their business is not only, and I think they were doing other spirits other than just bourbon, but yeah, they do basically overflow for other partners, I believe.
Okay.
And then some who are maybe just starting up that don't have facilities yet, they're taking their recipe.
They're stainless steel tanks of bourbon going up and down our highways.
Perhaps.
Wow.
Just
I would
Ocean's
expect
11,
like
yeah.
a police escort.
Yeah, or a Bourbon Boys escort.
There you go.
Yeah, happy to take one for the team.
Turn here.
All right. What's next?
So we're pouring up now. Let's. So this is where the test of our acumen comes in, gentlemen. So two single barrels. This will be from barrel number 41.
Yeah.
So that's barrel 41. Then after that, we're going to try from barrel 61.
So did
But
we
both
try?
standards?
No, these are single.
No, these are the single
These
barrels.
are the single barrels. Okay.
But is this the one we just tried?
No.
Okay.
So while we're pouring that, the standard is a blend of other bourbons, and it meets all the same bourbon requirements of 51% corn minimum, 4 years, aged in white oak American barrels, and then it's blended and mixed. The standard is blended bourbons that are in multiple barrels.
Yep.
That all get blended together again from the different barrels into bottles.
Okay.
The difference between the single barrel is they're blended whiskeys going in, but all of the this is barrel 41 or 61?
That's 41.
Barrel 41 is not mixed with any of the barrel. So what we'll taste is the difference in the barrel.
Yep.
So whether the oak was from a different location or the char was slightly different. So we'll not only taste the difference between standard and single barrel, but we should, I don't know if I will,
Yeah, that's the question.
tell the difference between barrel 41 and barrel 61.
Yeah. So immediately on the nose, this doesn't have as strong, typically all these, when you smell them, you're getting past the alcohol smell before you get to the others. This one doesn't have a real overriding alcohol smell, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
This
What do you
one
get?
is super smooth for me. I think.
Earthy.
A lot
Yeah.
of nut.
Yep. Yep.
Now she did let us in on a little secret on this one. She had a notebook of what the flavor profiles would be for each of the barrels. So she flipped through and found 41 and told us what that was and told us what 61 was, and I've completely forgotten.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't write them down.
I didn't write them down, but I was blown away. But in producing the single barrel, correct me if I'm wrong, in producing the single barrel, they worked with a master distiller who has left Woodford to basically go out and help as a consultancy, help other distilleries kind of find their flavor.
Yep.
So a lot of that chemistry and craft that goes into Woodford, well-established brand, that same individual helped to help them find that right blend.
Right.
So imagine taking all these sources of bourbons and then blending them to find that right blend and taking it from there.
Yeah. This is good. I like this.
This is really good. So we were talking about the neat before. The one thing that stuck out with me was the whole notion, and they hit it on a few times, is kind of the time investment, and you touched on the quality, but time investment and just waiting to see what the product is. Having faith and belief that, hey, our future might be riding on this.
Yeah, that's got to be scary.
It's got to be, because, that's not a short latent period when you're sitting in a warehouse. And obviously you're tasting it, and, they've got enough experience to know how the taste profile is shaping up. But, again, from buying the corn maybe before it's even planted in the field,
Right.
to going through the growing season to
amazing.
I mean, it's just
I am not
long
patient.
process. No, that's what I was trying to think. Is like, is there any time in my life where I've made an investment that took that long to come to fruition? And
You had children.
You had a marriage.
well, that was
He still
9
has a
months.
marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think.
No.
What have you heard?
I'm saying. I'm saying that you're still waiting for that to pay off.
Oh, that far. I thought you meant. Oh, yeah, hell, Dave. It was 9 months at our house. How long did you have to wait?
Oh boy.
Actually, I think what would be fun to do with one of these some night is, if you remember in that show, the gentleman who was third generation at Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Eddie. Was
And
it Eddie?
I think he had Eddie is, you're thinking of Eddie and Jimmy from Russell's.
Russell.
So, but he would give the tours, and he had those 5 people inside doing the taste testing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like, okay, put it on your hands and clap your hands.
Yeah.
And he's like, now smell it. He's like, okay, that tells me that there's, I think it'd be fun to do that exercise with, because he could get like the alcohol content, the flavor, I can't even remember all the things, but he did like 3 or 5 different things.
Yeah. Yep.
Derek, you want to break it to him?
That we did that?
Yeah.
You guys suck.
We did that. And we were actually standing in that room that he did.
But it wasn't him. I'm sure we had the B team.
No, it was Freddie. Freddie was our guy. Freddie Johnson.
It was Freddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not Eddie.
Kurt's walking off.
Headphones are down. Car keys are in hand.
Time for another RS band.
Maybe we should we let him go, or should we take a break and go chase him?
Let's
let him go.
let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and see if we can tell the difference between 41 and 61.
All right.
This break was brought to you by
Lorazepam.
What does the Lorazepam
When you need to relax, you just swallow it down, and you don't go back because it just brings you down.
This is one of the few times I wish we had a camera here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Kurt's apparently medicated.
Yeah. Kurt's on a 6-second delay.
I have a feeling the Volvo might be staying here tonight.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
It's a long walk home.
Somebody can give me a ride.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
So we're on
First
to-
single barrel's down.
It was very good.
We're going to go to barrel 61 now.
Okay.
So
Wait a second. This is our 3rd bottle.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Just as a recap.
No,
First
no.
one was standard.
Right.
Blend of bourbons, all blended
Got
into
it. Yep.
multiple
I'm good.
bottles.
Yep.
All right. Now the real test of our bourbon acumen is pouring up 61.
So theoretically,
A separate barrel, theoretically.
we're supposed to be.
Is
able
this
to
a
tell the
single barrel?
This is
It
a
is.
single barrel from the same blend that we tasted in 41.
Okay.
difference. I'll pour this for you.
Which was also
Yeah. Enough.
that's good. Yeah, right. Thank you.
But this is from barrel 61 in the same lot.
So the color feels different to me.
Do colors feel?
Absolutely.
Okay, just checking.
I know they feel blue. Kurt.
You know, I used to catch shit for crunching crackers, and here you are knocking your glass on the goddamn table. Good Lord.
I can definitely taste the difference.
Tell us.
Tell us
Tell
more.
us, please.
This one, for this to the nose, it has a little bit more alcohol smell to it, and it sits much stronger on my tongue.
Okay.
I taste a little bit more citrus. Damn straight.
Nailed that
Because
one.
you have a green microphone.
Just go with it.
Yeah. Limes.
Just nod.
Limes are citrus.
Yes,
Limes
I
are
guess.
green. You get more citrus.
I think you're right. I think that's a good flavor profile. It's a good call.
Actually, I think I prefer 61 better. This
Okay.
is good. It's very good.
And we were always wondering, like, can I taste the difference between 41 and 61? It's the same stuff 20 barrels later.
If I tasted them like on consecutive days, I don't know if I could.
But
I
back
did
to
find
back,
them
Then you might have a problem, but
Why?
I don't know.
back to
I didn't
back.
say breakfast and then lunch. I
Do you
said-
have
Consecutive meals.
Do you have another glass?
Yeah.
I want to try them next
Yeah,
to
we got
each
a couple.
other.
Yeah.
All right, let me get you another glass.
Very high maintenance tonight.
I'm just glad he's staying upright.
Do they have T-shirts?
They
Like
do
they have merch?
They do have merch there. They had a lot of.
I'm feeling the need to support my North Carolina boys here and girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they had a
That's good.
They had a lot of cool merch up there on their site as well as in the store.
Yeah, and again, super friendly people, and trying to grow their brand.
Right.
She was eager to talk to Derek and I, of all people, who obviously she wasn't familiar with the Bourbon Boys. Surprised that.
Wow.
But trying to grow the brand and super excited. Like, hey, if you guys want to come up here and do a podcast from here, if you want to do an event here, we can do food trucks. We can get a band.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so we're definitely told her we would love to do that. We're going to try to get some airtime with Pete, and she said, we may have to cut him off when he gets talking about distilling. We may have to slow him down, but she was super excited about any opportunity to highlight what they're doing. Very proud of the work.
Yeah, she even offered if we wanted to basically follow a barrel through the process,
That'd be fun.
which I'm like, sign me up. I'm in for that.
For sure. All right, so Kurt has done his own private side-by-side test here, so take it away.
So I like them both.
Good.
I do like the 61. I think there's a little bit more to it that makes it more interesting. So could be a seasonal thing for me. Like I think I could drink the 41 in the summer, and I think maybe the 61 more in like fall, winter.
Yeah.
I think the 41 is smoother. It's the best way I can describe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is interesting how the same liquid can go into two different barrels,
Right.
And have two different taste profiles.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
The subtlety of just like
All
you
the
said,
variables, right?
it's so variable.
Yeah. I'll tell you, though, we were talking about the price point earlier, and when I talked to Natalie, my wife, about it, she was a little surprised at the price point. She was thinking local, not well known, that it would be a lower price point, which I get that, understand that. But I'll tell you what, as far as quality and taste, this is right up there with anything that I
absolutely.
think we've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have had bourbon that costs more that doesn't taste this good.
Yep. Yeah, and the single barrel was about $65 a barrel at the distillery. Standard was about $55, and I think bourbon cream, which we'll have next, I think it's like $25, $30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about bourbon cream. Let's
It's like
keep the
dessert.
party rolling.
That's what puts Kurt to
Dessert.
sleep.
Yeah.
But this is, I think it's a, for a small local distiller, really excited about the taste and the flavor. I think it's good. And unfortunately, I think for a lot of our listeners, right now we're in 6 or 7 countries, 30 plus states.
We're in 6 or 7 countries?
We're in 6 or 7 countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not tonight, Elton.
Not Germany yet. I'm waiting for Germany. I'm waiting to say we're huge in Germany.
We're going to start translating.
With the
I
Hoff.
need to hone up
The
my
Hoff.
Spanish.
Yeah, Bourbon Boys in the Hoff. Okay, we just lost some listeners.
But, so I think a lot of people who are listening to this outside of our area won't have a chance to experience it,
Yep.
for a while. But hopefully, if these guys continue to, do great work, it's going to show up on their shelves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if anyone in Germany is listening and can get 5 followers, we will ship you a bottle
Yeah,
of this.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, send us an email. We might can hook you up.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a quick break.
This episode of Bourbon Boys is recorded in honor of Congress, not for what they do today, but for repealing prohibition years ago.
Certainly not for what they did today.
Yeah.
Seemed like, for some reason, it seemed like a good idea in 1919, was recognized in an oops, and they finally repealed it.
Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord. And we're back to bourbon
Thank
cream.
you, Jesus.
Yeah. So in staying in the Southern Star family, the only thing we left out tonight was White Dog, which is okay. I think it's a pass, understandable pass. You're not going to drink that stuff straight.
No, it's fun to try as a part of the experience when you're
Yeah.
at a distillery, but yeah, you're not going to enjoy it.
Did you guys experience that when you were there?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. It was.
So I want to make sure you got the whole
rough.
experience
Oh, we
while
did.
you were there.
Oh, yeah, experienced it.
rough.
Where we were at Woodford, Four Roses,
Yeah.
Wild Turkey, and Buffalo.
And Buffalo
Trace.
Trace.
Yes.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I'm sure it fucking was.
All right, so our next one up is bourbon cream. This one's on the lighter side, right? So it is essentially, it's 30 proof.
It's dessert, is what it
It
is.
is dessert.
It is dessert.
As Krat said, this is a coffee chocolate milk
Yum.
with a little bit of a bite to it, but not enough. And I think if you wanted to increase the bite, I think you just cut it with one of the single barrels or the standard.
Which is what I'm doing right now.
But this is, for an after dinner drink, a dessert drink, this is definitely the way to go. This beats Bailey's hands down.
Maybe that can be our contribution to Vienna and Pete's mission, is to say, what about a double bourbon?
Oh, and this is called double shot. I don't know what the double shot of it is, but the double
Great
double
idea.
shot.
It's just made it better.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess we'll just do the homemade style like Krat did.
Yeah. But this is, it's usually made with, real cream. I think that this is a soy milk, this one here. It's got a short shelf life, So when you crack this thing open, drink
6 weeks is not
You've got-
a short shelf life for the rest of us there. You've got bottles we opened
This is true. All
2
right.
years ago.
I'm looking
That's fair.
I'm looking at about 20 bottles right now
Yeah.
that in my house they'd all be empty.
Absolutely. And just for the record, this is Natalie's go-to.
Is it?
This is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that or an IPA, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But most nights when I'm pouring a bourbon, this is the only thing she will let me pour.
I think you should empty
it's
half
good.
that bottle and pour a half a bottle of bourbon in there with it.
Start to step it up.
Alton's personal blend.
Yep.
But it's good. I don't know if this is when I think about shopping for bourbon and going, to the ABC store and looking at the shelves. I don't recall seeing a lot of bourbon creams on the shelf, so not sure if it's readily available or if people know about it. But if you are a fan of Bailey's, you like that very sweet, thick, creamy, alcoholic liqueur.
Yep.
This is a place to start. It's great. I just think I haven't had a bad one yet. We've had a couple of these so far.
Right.
I think Southern Star did a great job with theirs.
I agree.
It's very good.
Buffalo Trace does one. This is every bit as good as the
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace
Yep.
one.
Well, and this one's got that coffee hint to it, which is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always thought these things would be great for like Christmas presents.
Yes. Yep.
So
And you were saying that the woman at Buffalo.
yeah, she every morning would pour a couple of tablespoons in her oatmeal and stir it up. So
Whatever it takes to get started,
Well,
right?
and honestly, if you've had it before and you've had oatmeal, you get it. It honestly would
I'm gonna try
taste
that.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's a solid
And it's not
idea.
it's not enough proof that you're gonna
No.
act like Kurt driving down the road.
No, I think you're okay. Maybe it keeps the flu away. It's worth a shot.
It is
you go.
it is very good though. It is a great gift idea.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
can't think of anybody not liking this.
Right.
No, but that brings our Southern Star to a wrap.
It does.
We were able to taste some really good bourbons for a young distillery. These guys, their heart is in it, 100%. I really wish we got a hold of one of their reserves
Yeah.
to see what that tastes like.
Yeah.
And I think that they're getting close to being able to bottle and bond their own.
Yeah.
That was started, barreled, and bottled all in the same location.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to find out.
Maybe in honor of North Carolina, we should just buy a barrel.
Oh,
I like it.
I like it.
we should look into that.
Let's go do
All
it.
right, we'll explore that.
Do not
not
do
bad.
that without me.
FOMO.
Again.
That's right, FOMO.
FOMO, take us to the
All
last
right,
call.
well, I'm going to. So, this is where we get to the part of our show where we call it Last Call. And with Last Call, you need to order a round of bourbon with confidence to match the people that you are with and the situation that you are in. So, tonight, you are the shepherd with the three kings going to find the star
The Southern Star.
to keep them warm. What do you order them up?
I'm going to go with the 61. Of the three we have, standard 41 and 61, I like Kratz Call on the citrus. And if I'm going Southern Star, I'm going to see a little bit more citrus in that area. If I'm walking with the three kings, I'm going to go with citrus.
I'm going to go with the standard. So if we're interested in keeping them warm, as you mentioned there, cold night, I think that was kind of the one that stayed with you the longest, sat with us the heaviest, had the most spice.
Yep.
So I'm going to go standard on this one.
Okay.
Dave? You
As
do,
the
you do
only-
know the story, right?
Which one?
Of
The wise men? Yeah, I got that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us.
I'm moving on. So, as the only North Carolina born and bred bourbon boy, yeah, I'm going to pull that card.
Playing that card.
I'll take any of this stuff. Super proud North Carolinian. Super proud to have a brand like this. We were talking during one of the breaks that just how surprised we were at how good all of these bourbons tasted.
Yeah.
So 61 is definitely the barrel 61 is definitely my favorite.
Okay.
But any of it, honestly.
They did a great job.
Yep.
Awesome.
Kurt?
I'm going with Alton, so I'm going to go with the standard as well for the very same reason. But I just think it was good all around. I liked the warmth that it gave, and so that's where I'm going to go.
Kudos. All right, this was fun. So we learned a lot about Southern Distilling. And I'm kind of excited that we actually tasted the difference between the two single barrels.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, that was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only one adder I would have before we close out completely, I think they should add a little bit more bourbon to the bourbon. Because the Krat blend tasted a little bit better.
All right.
We call it Krat's Cut.
There you go.
Krat's envy.
Love it.
Oh no, that would make him an angel. We don't want to do that. Okay, so
Absolutely.
So, boys, as always, thanks for a great episode. It's always great to get together with you guys. Hey, everybody, thanks for checking in tonight. If you like the episode, be sure to subscribe to our series and hit that notification button so that you can get updates when we drop another episode. We'd love for you to listen. Leave us a rating, and as always, give us your feedback, good or bad, so that we can make these things better for you. And if you want to learn more about tonight's bourbon, then take a look at our site, bourbonon.com, where you will be able to also order Bourbon Boys merchandise, anything from hats, T-shirts, and all kinds of great stuff. So,
Nice.
gentlemen, looks like we're at the end of the episode.
Oh, yes, we are.
Yes, we are. The right man's
I really enjoyed spending time with you guys. So here we go together. Bourbon on, man.
Bourbon on.